Hi guys, welcome to another video, and today I'll be talking about my New York trip. And the reason I'm doing it now, I actually had the trip in June, and it lasted for the entire month of June, because I got out on June 10th for school. The reason I'm making this now is because I've been doing crap all over the summer, but my summer has also sucked at the same time, so now I'm just suddenly getting bored, so that's what I'm doing now. First I'll be talking about the trip. You're most likely seeing gameplay on the screen right now, and maybe even my words, and then like pictures conflicting them or something. I don't even know if that's the right word, but there's a chance you're seeing that. So I'll be talking about my trip. This is also my second storytime video. Enough with the crap, let's get into my trip, and I'll get into some news that nobody needs to know. So first, my trip started off in the start of the year. I'm talking about how I got my trip. So it started off in the start of the school year, new school, 6th grade, and basically I made a lot of new friends. My writing teacher gave us a thing saying we could go to New York for a week, only for around $3,000, $3,000 in between. And my mom always wants me to do crap, so she volunteered as a chaperone and paid for both of us. So that was like November, and then June rolls around. I then start realizing I have this trip even though I wanted to have more summer, so I'm kind of let down on the fact that I have a lot less summer. So then the school comes, and in 3 days I'm actually leaving for this trip. So I only have 3 days to get ready, because it starts on the 13th and school ends on the 10th. So these 3 days, my grandpa comes over to watch my brothers and sister, and just looking at the wall right now. And after around 3 days, I have to wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. At this time, my mom was kind of extremely stressed because we didn't know most of the kids that were coming on the trip. And my friend Ethan, his channel is linked below. He wasn't coming. Originally he was, but his dad said he couldn't go for some reason. I don't know the exact reason, but I know he went camping after that. So we arrive at the airport early morning. We're the first ones there, and we wait like 10 minutes before we realize our tour group is just across the main airport room. I'm in Boise, Idaho, so the airport isn't as big as other airports. It's actually quite small. So we realize our tour group's over there. We walk over there. At this time, I have a horrible hairdo. I just woke up, didn't gel my hair. I have my long hair flying everywhere. I look like I'm dead. And we walk over, get a bag. They just gave us a bag for some reason. And I have to put on this special thing that goes around my neck that has the phone number of the tour group. I don't know why I did it, but I just put it on because I had to, like I just freaking said. So after waiting for about an hour at the place, we're finally getting ready. Also, when we walked over to the other side of the room, the other people were getting their bags checked because they brought bigger bags than a carry-on, which is quite weird. Why wouldn't you just bring on a carry-on? But some of these people are just weird. They bring a lot of clothes. So me and my mom brought a carry-on, so it was easier, and we didn't have to check the bags the entire time. Also, this trip includes New York and DC, so this will probably be like a 20-30 minute video. meaning the gameplay I recorded on Wings of Glory is going to have an extender. Either it's going to be it might be just a random gameplay that I found or have. I record a lot of them, so I'm just going to go find one. Where were we? So they get their bags checked. We wait for an hour, and after that, they allow us to go and get on the plane, so we just run through, and security is majorly backed up, and we actually lose half of the group, and half of us get our bags checked, which I actually I experienced that for the first time. That was my first time being in an airport. So we get our bags checked. I brought a lot of electronics, only 2, like a phone and a Nintendo Switch, for obvious reasons. So half of our group is gone. We're kind of stressed out, and at this point I figured out you can't bring water on the plane. This wasn't a problem though, I just didn't even have water. So I get all my stuff checked and I sit on the bench. At this point, people are just walking past me. We're sitting right next to security, and then the intercom comes on saying, your flight is about to depart, start boarding the plane. So then we run over to where we have to board the plane, and we get there in like 2 minutes. We get on the plane. It's also, the airlines are Southwest, so you're actually able to pick your own seat, which isn't cool, because then it's survival of the fittest and you don't get an assigned seat, so it's not really that fun. So we get on the plane. Me and my mom find a seat next to some girl or woman at this point. I don't know what to call them. We sit on the seat, and then like 10 minutes later, the people on the plane are just waiting for the side of the tour group. They finally show up and get on the plane. Then we depart. At this point, I didn't know how fast an airplane went, so yeah, this might actually be a 40-minute video because of all the crap that I'm about to talk about. I didn't know how fast a plane went, so first time experiencing a flight cabin and actually getting to fly into the air. The G-force wasn't that bad compared to what I've actually done in my life. So we get up in the air. The flight's like 3 hours, and we arrive at Chicago because we're going to DC. Well, in Chicago, there's many people on this tour, 10 people. So in Chicago, we arrive, and let's just say that was hell waiting, because our flight got delayed many times. So our flight is scheduled about 12, it's 10, so we wait a couple hours. There's this kid, CJ, I accidentally said his name, I wasn't supposed to, but he loses his Apple Watch while we're in the Chicago airport. And me and my mom were just thinking, why would you just lose your Apple Watch? Like, this is the worst place to do it, because we're in Illinois, Chicago. It's a bad place. It's a horrible airport. We're in airport Midway. We're in the Midway airport. So that's a horrible thing. And I didn't actually know. I'm a huge World War II fan, but they had a Dauntless PD or whatever, the dive bomber from Midway, which was pretty freaking cool. I actually got to see that. I don't know if it was a replica or an actual real plane. I'll have to look it up. But SPD Dauntless, that's the plane. And there's a lot of shops there. There's like a earphone place. My mom, since she's really nice, she buys everyone a donut, all the kids. And there was a Dunkin' Donuts there, so we just got that. I also got a set of earbuds that were they're earbuds. I broke them a couple weeks ago. So we finally ready to get on our plane, and then it delays again. They didn't tell us the reason, but it delays again because it's Chicago. It sucks. Then after the delay, we go over and wait for our flight again, And this time it delays again because of the weather. But actually this time we load on the plane, and then they tell us there's a delay, so they let us get off the plane. Some people actually stayed on there. That day was like over 100 degrees outside. So, yeah, it wasn't a fun day. So, we get on. After that, we finally get to go on the plane, and we head to DC. This is a 5-hour flight at this point. It's not fun at all. And the video is coming on 10 minutes. I'm not going to do a part 2 because I'm sick of that. So, the flight, I'm playing my Switch. At this point, one of my Switch Joy-Cons is completely broken. So, this is an important detail for the rest of the story. We arrive in DC. Yeah, the airport wasn't crowded. There was barely anyone there. So, yeah. My only friend basically, the person I sat next to, everywhere was CJ, who's basically my main friend the entire trip. So, I was older than him, but he was in higher grade because of state differences on when the cutoff is, so that's why. When we're in DC, we were really late that day. We were 4 hours late from when we were supposed to be there, so we didn't get to see many of the memorials that we were supposed to. And we're with another school group from Nevada. And this is important later. I'm not going to explain every single thing we did in detail, because that would kind of suck and take me a couple hours. But we get to the hotel, and they basically give us 15 minutes to lay down, get showered, and do all of our crap before they send us downstairs again to go eat pizza, because they bought pizza. We're also in Virginia at this point. We're right next to DC, but we're in Virginia. So we get into our hotel, go to bed after the pizza. We play a couple card games when we were eating the pizza. And at that point, yeah. The next day, we wake up to go to breakfast, and I'm sitting on the entire kids' table, and this is when we actually meet the people from Nevada, because we had a special room, sitting at the kids' table from my school, and we do random crap, because some of us are 8th, 9th, 7th, and 6th graders, just sitting at a table talking about stuff. We got along, which was actually surprising. That never really happens. So, we actually got along, and I just dropped my piece to a P40. Oh, there it is. I'm not going to grab it. So, then we leave and get on this bus. This bus is absolutely huge. It's got like 40 seats in it, and there's only like maybe 20 kids. So, 20 kids. So, we get on the bus, and my mom kind of restricts my internet until a certain time, and I have to wait around 20 minutes before I can go into Apple Music and play Tupac. That's my favorite rapper. So we get on the bus, and we are heading to Mount Vernon. And I actually didn't know what this was at first, and then my mom told me it was George Washington's house while we were on the bus. She was sitting right behind me. I was sitting right next to CJ. Mount Vernon was extremely cool, which it's basically George Washington's house, which it is. And if you ever get the chance to go to ever go to DC or Virginia, you should go check that out because it's extremely cool. So inside his house, they had what George Washington actually looked like booth, where they actually made him in real life and looked at all of his portraits and pictures. And we also got to view how he actually made his wooden house look like stone through a process of throwing sand and painting it. It was a pretty weird process that I learned, but they have to keep maintaining his house. They have to keep doing that process. They were actually doing half the house when I arrived. So, yeah. But at the start of the trip, we didn't even get to go to the house. We went to a little building that had his house blueprint, that had everything about his house. So, yeah, at this point, we walk over, and after we're in the building, we walk to the booth where it had the George Washington in real life. They had, like, a model of him. They had a couple things about his slaves and everything. And then after that, we get to walk into a giant field. We get to see his grave. We get to... I'm going to start speeding it up. We get to see the slave houses and the beds that they had to go through, which was kind of horrible. But, yeah, we see all that. Then we finally get to walk over to the lake. It was kind of really polluted. Like, there, you could see trash in it. And after that, we finally got to walk over to his house. We then discovered there's a toilet with 2 seats right next to his house that they used. Which I am not... Why am I even talking about this? It's a toilet. Yeah. I just drank, like, cold water, so it's not the best for this. Okay, so after that, we went inside his house, because his house is actually pretty cool. Like, you could see, like, all the key he had to his room, or not the key to his room, I forgot exactly what it was, but there was a key hanging up. I'll look it up later, or put it in the description of what it was. There's a key. It showed all of his rooms, all of his portraits, his family room, his... I don't think we got to go upstairs, but it was still pretty cool. We got to see a little bit of his house, and yeah. After that, we got back on the thing, and we got to go to the Jefferson Memorial, which is also pretty cool. I don't know if this was the same day. It might have been the day after. I don't exactly remember how we did things. I might go check back on my phone and look, because all I know is that we went to the Jefferson Memorial sometime after. We also went to the Martin Luther King Memorial. We also went to a mall. Actually, after we did that, we went to a mall. So, after that, we went to a mall, which this is where I get my Joy-Con charger, which is not needed to talk about. We get to eat. Then we leave. I get some merch. I also got a Don't Tread on Me shirt. I'm Republican, obviously, so I got that shirt. It's also not just affiliated with Republican, it's affiliated with the colonies. So basically, Benjamin Franklin made the snake cut into pieces, and then somebody else put that snake together and said, put Don't Tread on Me. And it basically said, F off to the British. Hey, fuck the British. That's what they meant. I'm probably going to edit this part out, because that's incredibly rude. But that's what they basically meant while they made that thing. That flag. So I get a shirt of that. This is unimportant. We get after the mall. I don't exactly remember what we do after that. But we don't get to go home. We actually went to a cemetery after that, the Arlington Cemetery, the cemetery where John F. Kennedy is buried at, and Abraham Lincoln's son, and we get to see that, which is pretty cool. After walking around so long, our legs felt like like they were gonna die. I don't remember if that day we went to the Iwo Jima, when I'm pretty sure that day we did go to it. We also went to the Vietnam and World War II Memorial. After that day, I'll also be showing pictures in the description of what we did. After that day, the second day was a little bit more interesting. We woke up, got on the bus again. I don't remember these in order, but I remember going on a ghost tour at the end, and then we left and went back home. They let us go to, like, a souvenir shop. They let us eat at a giant mall building thing. They let us go see a bunch of things. We went to the Martin Luther King Memorial. I don't remember. I think that was the day before. Trying to remember a lot more. We also got to see the Capitol and all the things like that. We got to see the Capitol. We didn't see the Washington Memorial, but we did see other things. After the Capitol, we went to eat in a random place. I'm pretty sure we saw the World War II Memorial the day after. The Vietnam and World War II Memorial. Yeah, enough about... Also, we were staying at in Times Square, one of the most cool places I've ever been. They have giant TVs. Actually, no, that was New York. Okay, that's the wrong hotel. We were staying in Virginia still. I'm going to cut that out of the video. Yeah, we were still staying in Virginia, and that's basically all the details I wanted to say about that day. And the day after, we woke up again, did the same thing, went back, and we actually got on a bus this time, and our tour guide, we had two of them, left. He was not the one that went to the airport. He was just like another one we got when we arrived in Virginia. So we get a new tour guide. We don't get a new tour guide until maybe until we got into New York. So this is when we also get to go to Gettysburg. And I'm not gonna, heads up, we went to a pizza place, so I'm not gonna actually say it afterwards. So we get on the bus, our tour guide leaves. We sit on the bus for 5 hours to go to Pennsylvania, or actually we sit on it for an hour to get to Gettysburg, which, an hour, 2 hours, which Gettysburg is one of the coolest places. We talk about the history of how the Confederates got absolutely obliterated the second and third day. And then after that, we started heading to New York, which I've never been to before. So after that, we get back on the bus, and also I'll be showing some Gettysburg pictures, either in the description on the screen right now. So we get on the bus, and we head over to, I don't know why, we head over to New York. So we sit on the bus for 5 hours, because why not? This is when I used my actual earbuds the most, was right now. So me and some of the kids started making some horrible images, like Photoshop. I don't know when it started, but either I posted a picture of CJ photoshopped onto Rick Ashley from Never Gonna Give You Up, and everybody loved it and started making their own pictures. I'm pretty sure it was only me and CJ making pictures. Yeah, we made some terrifying ones with the presidents, Trump, Obama, and Joe Biden. 3 presidents of my generation, which, yeah, except for George Bush is one. We just didn't put him on there. So we do all that. We just mess around for 3 hours. We finally arrive in New York, which is not a surprise. It's New York. I'll be showing some of the images we made on the screen on the ride. We get up to New York. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful city. It's like huge skyscrapers. I've never seen this before. It's pretty damn cool. So this is when we stayed in Times Square. It was a pretty big, really big hotel. And they actually can't find anyone to clean the windows, so it kind of looked like crap. So inside Times Square, there's a bunch of TVs, but we didn't see this first. First, we arrived in New York, and we ate at an Italian place, which they gave us absolutely crap food. We didn't even get to choose what we wanted on the menu. We got like a piece of meat with cheese on it and sauce. It was not pizza. No, it wasn't. And I didn't like it, so I didn't eat anything. So I just messed around on my phone. So after that, we got to meet our tour guide, who told us everything in Chinatown was fake because we were staying right next to Chinatown and we got to shop there. I only bought one thing from Chinatown, but yeah, it was a mini Statue of Liberty. Yeah, basically that's what it was. That's all it was. And yeah, that was the first day in New York. I'm also gonna, so we get back. I don't remember exactly which day. I'm pretty sure it was the first. So we're going back to town square, and I can't remember where we stayed, but we get back over there, and or is it Times Square? I think yes, Times Square. And there's this gay kid on the trip, so just don't question that. And he's wearing a skirt, which is a little extra for New York. So there's this black guy selling weed on the side of the road, on this concrete, and we're walking to our hotel when this black guy says, "What the fuck are you wearing that skirt for?" And the gay kid replies, "Hi back," and this black guy goes on. He's like, "Don't say hi to me, bitch. I'm gonna be able to beat the shit out of you." He said something along the lines of that. I heard a little bit of it, but yeah, the kid just walks away. We get back into our hotel. Everything's fine. We take a obnoxiously long elevator up to our floor, and conveniently, they decided to put everyone's suitcase in me and my mom's room. So it takes 20 minutes for everybody to get their suitcase out of the room, which is annoying because I just want to go to bed. After that, I finally get to go to bed. And then the next day, let's just say my legs broke. Like, they don't exist anymore. I can't remember if we spent 3 or 2 days in New York. I know we spent a lot of days. So, yeah. This day, we got to go see the Statue of Liberty, all those things. Statue of Liberty was pretty freaking cool. It's tall. It's made out of copper, which I calculated you need around 9 million pennies to make it, which is a lot. 9 million pennies. Or was it 9 billion? I think it was around 9 billion pennies, yeah. So I calculate that of how much copper you need and how much money it would take. I'm going to be putting a picture of how much it took, how much money, in my calculations, because I'm kind of a nerd. Of course, I calculate crap all the time. So, after that, we finally get to go home. And the reason I'm not explaining most of the trip is because this is a long-ass video, and I don't want to extend it any longer. So, yeah. The last day, this is when we actually get to go and do things. We wake up, and we get to go to a Catholic church, which, actually, after the Statue of Liberty, we got to see a show with some guys trying to make money. It was pretty hilarious. Some 3 guys that put on a show outside of the Statue of Liberty, right around where you get on the boat. So, we got to see that, and the next day, we wake up, go to a Catholic church, and we get to go to the stores around there. And I finally, in my first time in my life, get to go to FAO Schwarz. I thought it was cool seeing the movie Home Alone. And then I finally realized that isn't the same store because they reopened it. It's not the biggest toy store anymore. It's pretty small now. So, yeah. I realized that, and yeah, it wasn't really that good. I didn't buy anything there. But I did buy something at a Nintendo store of New York. So we also got to go to the Nintendo store. We go in. This is when I actually get my Joy-Cons. I buy 2 Joy-Cons. I buy a purple and orange Joy-Con pack for $80. It's pretty good, actually. Better than Amazon prices. So, I think it was $70 or $80, and I actually get to see the entire evolution of Nintendo consoles. I'm actually going away from Nintendo now. I have transferred into PlayStation and Xbox, because Nintendo is kind of a bad company now. Just, they haven't done anything good. They made actually good games for the Switch. They only made Super Smash Bros. And that's it. And maybe Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild, which already existed. So they got to start actually making games, because I just got an Xbox. So, yeah. After that, we get to go to a park, and I hit my head pretty hard, actually. It was at the park. I jumped off the swing. The swing came back and hit me in the head. I was fine, though. I didn't get brain damage. I was fine. After that, we get to go to the airport of New York, the Kennedy Airport. We arrive at one of the gates, get through the airport, get our pictures. They just gave us our pictures during the trip. Get our pictures, and get on the plane to go back home. This was pretty self-explanatory. There was only 2 stops. One, and I don't exactly remember. I think it was around Utah, or yeah, it was Utah, Salt Lake Airport, and then we got to go back to Boise. So yeah, that was basically my entire trip of New York. This is 30 minutes, exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Hopefully you enjoyed this. This is probably, I need more, put a second gameplay because of how long this took to explain my entire trip. If I was going to put this into detail, you would probably get a 4-hour video. So, if you want the 4-hour video, if this gets a 1,000 likes, maybe I'll do it, but it's not, so, yeah. I cannot guarantee that, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to get 1,000 likes or views. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I will start uploading again in like 16 days. It's my birthday. In 16 days it's school, and in 14 days it's my birthday. So when my birthday comes around, I'll make a video. Not bragging about my birthday, but what I might do on it. I'll be plugging in some people's channels below that you should go view. They're either my friends or people I know. So anyways, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.